Hey guys, welcome back. So, everyone ran into this situation where a car comes in, it has a problem, you narrowed it down, but you have to make an important call. You either dig a little deeper or you replace the part. Now, if you get it wrong, your customer is going to be paying for something that they probably didn't need, and that could be a problem for you. Alright, so this happened to one of my customers who was in this exact situation. And what I want to do is show you the framework we did that not only saved his customer a bunch of money, on a part that he probably didn't replace, So with that, let's go ahead and jump into this presentation. How to diagnose a 2016 BMW, the fault code 193208 with the MaxiSys Ultra. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Curtis Harden. I'm an independent Autel Diagnostic consultant. What I do is align people with the right diagnostic tool, and then I give them the one-on-one training that you see in this presentation. So if you want to get on the right track, or if you don't have any training right now, go to auteltech.co.za and book the diagnostic tool consultation. Okay, so what you're going to be learning today is the following: the setup that makes this diagnostic procedure possible, the BMW terms you must understand before replacing any parts, reading the symptoms before you spend money on parts, and then the MaxiSys Ultra workflow that took this car from 19 faults to the final results. And the tools used today in today's case study is the following: the MaxiSys Ultra tablet, the VCMI, which is your J2534 interface, and a battery maintainer. Okay. So, to give you background on this case study, my client's customer brought in a 2016 BMW 528i with the engine warning light on and a fault code 19328 stored. The initial scan revealed 19 DTCs, and the real question he had was, which code, wasn't which code appeared first, but was it a hardware problem, a data problem, or something else entirely? So, unsure of the root cause, my client booked a consultation with me so he can find the right answer without making any expensive mistake. So let's jump into some definitions. So the error code is the 19328 fuel quality plausibility. So this fault means the DME is seeing a mismatch between the fuel it calculates, the engine has consumed, and the fuel level being reported as remaining in the tank. So in plain English, guys, this basically means the DME is doing the math. Okay, so it knows how much fuel it's injected, and it knows how much the cylinder says it's in the tank. And what happens is when those two numbers don't line up, you're going to get this error code. All right, it's like it's not telling you what's broken, but it's telling you that the two numbers disagree. So that's our job to kind of find out. And the main concern was the customer reports that the engine malfunction warning lamp is illuminated while filling the fuel tank. The fuel gauge fails to show the correct fuel level. After driving a short distance, the gauge eventually updates to full, but the warning light stays on until the fault is cleared. And the first thing I did was we checked the TSB, and this TSB gave us the exact symptoms of the customer's complaint. You can see he had the warning lamp on, the same fault code, and the direction that it gave us was to update the vehicle's software, with ISTA before condemning the tank. Okay, and then what I also did was I checked Identifix. Okay, you can see here we have the hardware way, and then to verify which way to go, I just checked Identifix as well, and it also gave us the indication that a software update would be needed. All right, so now we have those two sources. We're going to go ahead and do that first, which is to program, okay, instead of just replacing it. If the programming fails, all right, then we're going to go ahead and replace the hardware. Okay. So step number 1, remote diagnostic assessment with the MaxiSys Ultra. Okay, so what I did was I just went in his computer, and you can see here on the top there's 19 faults and you can see the main culprit right here. Okay, and next step is to select the target integration level. Okay, so here I'm going to go to programming, right, and it's going to give us a prompt. Just give it a minute. And at this point, we need to make sure that our battery is good. We're doing a direct connection, okay, and you have a valid Autel subscription. Otherwise, you won't be able to access the programming files on the server. Okay, and here, if you look at the lower integration plant, right? So this is basically the car's birth from, the car's birth software from 2016. All right, so it's just the history. The integration old is what's on the car right now. All right, where you can see November 2022. So the list up top is what's available. All right, and rule of thumb, pick the latest, because the newer means, you know, there's going to be more fixes and, you know, things that will be able to address our situation, unless you're directed to, you know, pick these other ones. Okay, so that's how I was able to determine which one to pick. Okay, so once I select that, I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Let me just fast forward it a bit. I think I was explaining this to my client. All right, and then it's going to go through the process. All right, let me just fast forward this. All right, it takes a while. All right, so then establishing vehicle communication. We're going to have a couple more loading screens. All right, let me fast forward it. Connecting with server. And then we're going to get another prompt after checking the programming data, updating the vehicle order, and all right, were control units replaced? All right, no, they were not replaced. We're just updating the existing software, and then it brings us to our programming menu. And that's going to bring us to the next step, to execute the DME programming. Okay. So from here, we're going to go ahead and select Programming and Coding. Okay, we're going to go ahead and click OK. And while this loads, let's see where it's going to take us. We're going to go Selective Update. Okay, and then from here, we're going to pick the DME module, Programming and Encode. Okay, we're not going to click Replace because we're not replacing it. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and click OK. Completing the action plan. And then you can see just a summary of what's going to be happening. Alright, and then after we review all of this, we're going to go ahead and click Execute Measurement Plan on the bottom right. Alright, so I'm just waiting for the client to do that. Alright, let me go ahead and fast forward it. Okay, so downloading files, please wait. Alright, so it's going to go ahead and do that. It's at 99%. Download completes. Alright, so go ahead and click OK. And we should be able to start the downloading sequence very shortly. Sometimes it takes a while. Alright, there we go. Okay, so this is the easy part, you know. It's just going to go through all of these sequences. Okay, and let me fast forward it a bit. And you know, during this time, you're going to make sure that you're not disturbing, having anything on in the car. You know, like, it's a very sensitive procedure. Like, I almost treat this as if I'm doing surgery. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish all of this here. Alright, so once that is done, we're going to go ahead and review everything. Okay, you can see everything was a success right here. And after we are finished reviewing it, we'll go ahead and click OK. Alright, it's going to update the vehicle order. And then after we follow this process, it's going to take us to our last step, and that is to verify the fault code is resolved. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and go to the auto scan, and let's see if that code in the DME clears. Alright, so it's going through all of them, and as I said, there was 19 codes on here, and you can see the number on the top up here, so let's see if that reduces it. Alright, so the DME cleared, and you can see it's clearing everything out. Okay, so yeah, we pretty much did it. We have those remaining codes, but those aren't really relevant. But yeah, very good success. The customer, the technician told me that this did give the desired results, and we don't have to replace anything. Okay, so key things to remember: research the fault before you replace anything. A code is two numbers disagreeing, or which is the error code. Okay, so it's not telling you what's broken, it's telling you where to look. Okay, always check for TSBs before quoting parts. So the TSB is set to program first. Alright, that decision saved the customer the cost of a fuel tank. Alright, and this is how you guys can actually increase your programming events, by just checking for TSBs when you get an error code. Okay, selective programming, not the full vehicle. So this basically means when you look at ISTA's repair information, it tells you to flash everything, because that's kind of what their software does. One of the value propositions of the MaxiSys Ultra, it lets you isolate the module and just program that one, which is less of a risk. All right. And number 4, always run programming on a battery support. So voltage drops in flash, the module will brick. The shop that skips this lesson learns it very expensively. Okay, so remember, keep good battery voltage. And the last one, the expensive mistake isn't the wrong repair, it's not knowing what the right one was. Okay, so with that, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this programming session. If you would like to purchase your Autel tool, go to auteltech.co.za, and I'll be more than happy to get this in your hand. Alright, take care, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.